It's been over 4 months since the NBA has suspended its season, and fans cannot wait for it to return. Recently, 22 teams have been staying at Disney inside the so-called bubble. Well, unless you're Lou Williams. There are a lot of questions heading into the playoffs, and nobody knows how these teams are going to perform. Teams like the Bucks, who have been resting their starters, no longer have that advantage, as everyone had time to rest. The Sixers were 29-2 at home. How will they fare without the electricity of their home fans? Teams like the Trailblazers, who had key players injured for a large part of the season, are now at full strength. How will teams like the Celtics, who were playing great team basketball before the season was suspended, perform after not playing a real game in 4 months? With this comes an opportunity for many teams to shock the world, and today we'll be taking a look at 4 teams we think will do just that. Let's kick things off with the Utah Jazz. The Jazz are one of the most fascinating teams heading into the playoffs. After Rudy Gobert single-handedly sent the world into shock and the NBA into lockdown after being one of the first NBA players to test positive for the coronavirus before eventually spreading it to star teammate Donovan Mitchell, all hope looked to be lost for this Jazz team. It took some time, but Mitchell and Gobert finally repaired their relationship, and now it's the perfect story for the 4-seed Jazz to overcome the odds and make a legit run at the title. The Jazz are a perfectly balanced team that matches up really well against the powerhouses of the West. Rudy Gobert brings the rebounding and the defense. Donovan Mitchell brings the scoring. Joe Ingles brings the shooting. Royce O'Neal brings the grit. Mike Conley is the facilitator. Jordan Clarkson brings the scoring off the bench. This team is just a well-oiled machine. Each piece adds something different to the puzzle. And I know I mentioned it briefly, but Donovan Mitchell is an absolute stud. Averaging just over 24 points per game, 14th highest in the league, on 45% shooting from the field, Mitchell is having one of the most underrated seasons in the league this year. Add in one of the best coaches in the league in Quinn Snyder, and this team has all it takes to write their fairy tale ending. Let's switch gears now and take a look at a team in the Eastern Conference. Actually, the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. That would be the Miami Heat. The Heat have had a great season that very few are talking about. Led by their newly acquired star Jimmy Butler, the Heat have a great roster from top to bottom. Ever since Butler's first day with the Heat, where he showed up nearly 5 hours before practice, the Heat have been on another level. They have developed undrafted free agents like Kendrick Nunn and Duncan Robinson into above-average NBA players who receive some serious minutes, along with first-round picks in Tyler Hero, who have averaged 12.9 points per game on 39% shooting from deep, and 2017 first-rounder and Most Improved Player finalist Bam Adebayo. The Heat have had an incredible balance of young, fiery talents and gritty veterans like Jay Crowder, Andre Iguodala, and Kelly Olynyk. The Heat can truly do it all, as the team led the league in three-point percentage, shooting 38.3% from 3 as a team, and they were the 11th best defense in the league with the 8th best scoring differential in the league at plus 3.2. Jimmy Butler always takes it up a notch when it comes to playoff time, and it will be very interesting to see how this young core performs in the clutch. Although Duncan Robinson has shown us that he hasn't lost his touch throughout quarantine.
The interior defense, and the Heat will look for the first score. Duncan Robinson pull up 3 points per game from this year's Kings. Jimmy Butler, nice pitch. Robinson's wide open in the corner. Butler getting past Bazemore. Heat ball movement's been crisp. There's Duncan. Kaboom. Orlando. Pick and roll. Dragic sends it out. Oh, look who's wide open. Kaboom.
What truly separates this team from the rest of the league is their unique play style. Although the average fan may see them as a grit and grind type of team, they're also one of the best shooting teams in the entire league. Opposing teams are going to struggle to game plan for this Heat team, and it will be very difficult to contain the intensity of playoff Jimmy Butler and the rest of this roster. Moving on, the Dallas Mavericks are another team that may just shock the world. Just over a year ago, the Dallas Mavericks sent the NBA world into a frenzy after trading for Latvian big man Kristaps Porzingis for practically nothing. Less than 2 years later, the Mavericks come into the NBA bubble as the 7th seed in the West, but very much a threat. Luka and Kristaps look to make up one of the league's best dynamic duos for years to come. This team's electric offense is truly what sets them apart from the rest of the teams in the bubble. The Mavericks enter the playoffs with the 3rd best offense in the entire league. The Mavericks can potentially play a team like the Nuggets, who they match up extremely well with. Luka and Kristaps can easily slow down Jokic and Jamal Murray. Outside of those two stars, this team has a ton of depth. Tim Hardaway turned into a really solid scoring option for the team, and Seth Curry's laser catch-and-shoot ability really helps out this team. Add in players like Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, Delon Wright, and Boban Marjanovic. This team's got a ton of depth that really supports their star power, and that should take them far. Their elite scoring makes them a threat in the West that teams can't sleep on. The Mavericks are used to not being the favorites. They've done it before, they can certainly do it again, especially given the circumstances. The last team we gotta talk about is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Although the Thunder are the 5 seed in the West currently, this is a team that could surprise us all in the playoffs. After being traded to the Thunder last summer, Chris Paul has been seeking vengeance as he has sneakily been an MVP candidate, averaging 17.7 points per game, 1.6 steals a game, and 6.8 assists per game. Multiple players have recently come out and said that center Steven Adams is the toughest player to guard due to his sheer strength.
Yeah, absolutely my pants.
Their breakout star of the year, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is averaging 19.3 points per game on very efficient shooting. Danilo Gallinari has finally been staying healthy and is scoring the ball at will. Off the bench, you get a 6th Man of the Year finalist in Dennis Schroeder, who averages 19 points a game. The Thunder's defensive anchor from previous seasons in Andre Roberson has finally returned after a string of injuries, and he looks better than he ever has, and has actually been shooting and making threes. The thing that truly separates the Thunder apart this year will be their point guard, Chris Paul. Along with the rest of the team, Chris Paul has been spectacular on both ends of the ball. Although this team is 18th in the league in scoring, they are efficient, and they are a top 10 team defensively. They lead the league in steals per game and take advantage of every opportunity they can get. Overall, these are the 4 teams that could surprise the league in the bubble. We're not saying these are the teams that are going to make the finals for sure, but don't be shocked if they go deeper into the playoffs than most expected, and possibly upset other teams that they may not be expected to defeat. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit that big red subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. We're on the road to 1,000 now, and we're just trying to get all the help we can get. So please, if you're one of the 95% of people that aren't subscribed but still watch our videos, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And if you like the video, drop a like. Why not? Does no harm. But yeah, that about does it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.